Hello everyone, welcome to another video. This will be the walkthrough for the vectors question. There's only 3 questions, but this I think question 1 is still okay. Question 2 and question 3 are considered very difficult because we have no time to do all the basic questions. All the basic questions are in the notes. Those are all pretty basic, pretty okay, but the difficult ones are all here in the homework. Okay, so let's start going through this. Okay, so in the first question, they give you AC, they give you OC, and then they want you to find AC magnitude. So this is quite simple. You just do the formula, 8 square minus 3 square plus together square root. So no issue. Now I want the coordinates of A. So to get the coordinates, I can find the position vector OA also. Then from there, you straight away convert to coordinates. So if you look, there's only one place that has an A. Got to start from here. And remember, I want OA, so I need to break this AC up into the position vectors, and that will always be the second letter minus the first letter. So I start here, AC, okay, which is equal to OC minus OA. Okay, so AC I actually have, so I put it here. OC I also have, OC is here, I'm going to put it here. OA is what I want to find, so I'm just making OA the subject now. This one shift to the left, this one shift to the right, and then I simplify. That's it. And OA is vectors, so I cannot have the vector because they ask for coordinates, so I'm going to write it as the left and right comma thing, coordinates. Okay, so that's it. So C is probably the first difficult part. So C is on the point, but B is on the point OC. So you can see that I draw OC, and B is somewhere in between here. And then how did I get these 2 and 3? It's actually from here. If you read this logically, OB is 2, BC is 3. So OB is 2, BC is 3. That's where the numbers come from. And then I'm supposed to find OB. So OB is just this part, right? So you can see that OB is just a fraction of the whole thing. So the whole thing is 5 units, right? So 2 plus 3, 5 units, right? OB is only 2. That's why OB is just 2 over 5. That's why you can see the working out here. OB is 2 over 5 OC. So it's literally 2 over 5 times this. Exactly here. So I take 2 over 5 times minus 10, I get 4. And then 2 over 5 times 5, I get 2. So that's your answer. Okay, so next one. You can see that they say that 2P is parallel to AC. So they told you it's parallel, so we write like that, this and this parallel. And because you know that they are parallel, 2 times something is going to give you 8. It's very obvious, it's 4, right? Which also means 4 times P is going to give me minus 3. So 4P must be equal to minus 3. I make P the subject, the 4 divide over minus 3 over 4. Done. Okay, so that's the a bit easier one. So now we start some of the more difficult questions. So question 2 is your first difficult question. You can see that OA is A, so here A. OB, which is here, the whole thing is B. And then they give you a lot of other important things that you will easily miss out. So vectors, you must read every single thing. So OA and AP is the same. So OA, AP is the same. Now, the fact that they are the same, if this is A, this is also A, right? Vectors, what? This is a bit more difficult. OQ is equal to 2 over 3 OB. So if I take OB, I divide into 3 parts, I times 2, I'm going to get OQ. That's what it means, right? So OB is the so-called one whole unit. If I break it up into 3 parts, 2 parts will be OB. So you can see that I have 3 here, 2 plus 1, 3 parts. If I take 2 parts, it will be OQ. So that's how I came up with this 2 and 1. Okay, so with this, you are expected to know the ratio here. This takes a bit of practice to do. The next one is BR equal to 3AR. So BR is here, this one. AR is here, right? So it's all lengths, right? So if I take AR times 3, I'm going to get this. So this one times 3 will get this. So that's why if this is 1 times 3, this is 3. So the whole thing is 4. Notice that this and this are slightly different. Okay, so they will give you in many funny ways. You got to know how to do it. Okay, so let's start answering the question. So the first one I want to do is QB. So QB will be here. This direction, okay, is pointing upwards. So again, we're trying to form triangles here. So, okay, so you can see that the whole thing is B. QB is just 1 over 3. That's why the answer is 1/3 OB, which is 1/3 B. Okay, so the whole line is B. I just want one part out of 3 parts. That's why it's 1/3. Quite simple, right? After that, I want BA. So BA will be here, from B to A. Okay, so what I do is I'm going to form a triangle that involves this BA. So I start at B, I must end at A. So I can start from here, I go down, then I come here. Then that's your BA already, right? So if this direction is B, I want to come down, right? So it is going to be minus B. So here is minus B. And then from here, I want to go this direction. There will be A. That's why it's minus B plus A is equal to BA. Exactly here. Minus B plus A. It's just the direction. Nothing fanciful here. Next one, I want BR. So BR will be BR. So by now, you have the whole thing BA, right? And so BR is just 3 parts out of 4. That's why it is 3 parts out of 4, 3/4 times BA. BA you already found here. That's why I put it like that. You know, this one I put minus B plus A. So I just put A minus B. I like this look better, so I'm just writing it like that. No difference. Okay, next one, I want QR. So QR is here. So I draw my own line. It must be this direction. So same thing, I'm trying to form a triangle. Starting from Q, end at R. So the obvious way is to start from here, go up, then come down. You notice that QB you have, right? So QB is here. Then from here, BR, you actually also have, you know, so it's these two add together. So it's this QB plus BR. That's how I wrote this. And then at this point, I just want to combine the B and the B. So it's 1/3 minus 3/4. That's why it's here. And then the A is just alone, so A no change. So that's your QR. Okay, last one, QB. QP will be here, this whole thing. Okay, so start from Q, end at P. Now you can go here, but this thing I don't even know what it is, so I cannot be going here. I need to go the other way, so I need to go from here. QP will be here, and then here, right? So this direction going down is negative B, right? So it's like that is B. So come down is negative B, and it's not the whole thing. It's only 2 over 3 of B. So that's why I start with negative 2 over 3B, and then this whole thing here will be 2A plus 2A. Done. So you see, this whole section is the core fundamental concept of vectors. If you can do this, your vectors is very stable. Okay, so next, it carries on. They ask you why QRP does not form a straight line. So where are they? So it's this, and this. So the only thing you need to know is if they are on the straight line, the 3 points on the straight line, the vectors are parallel. And this, they already clearly tell you they are not on the straight line. So you know that the QR and QP is confirmed not going to be parallel. It's just a matter of how you show it only. And you realize QR you have, you know, see, QR is here. QP you also found. So you can see that you didn't find anything for fun. It's all for a reason. So QR will be this one. QP will be this one. And since you already know that they are not supposed to form a straight line, I won't bother to think so much. You know that they are not parallel. So you see how I overcome this? I play cheat a bit. I write down QR, I write down QP. I just say quickly that this is not equal to a number times QP, and hence they are not parallel. And if they are not parallel, they are not on the same line. That's it. Okay, I'm not supposed to figure out whether they are parallel. I'm just supposed to show. So I already know they are not parallel, so I don't need to waste too much time here. Okay, so part C is again even more difficult. If you are doing this for the first time, there's no way you can know how to do it, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so let's start with here. They tell you that this triangle and this triangle are similar. So let's look at where it is first. Let me zoom this out. This is a little too near. Okay, so the first triangle is BQR. BQR, so it's this small one, right? Then the other triangle will be BAO, so that will be the bigger one. So you can see that you don't know how to rotate the triangle because it's like, you cannot figure out. So what I do is I just draw this triangle, exactly the same orientation. You can see that the shape and angle is the same. Then after that, I just draw a bigger one because they are similar. See, I just draw exactly the same. I draw a bigger one. Then from here, let's zoom this a bit. The next important thing is I got to get the lettering correct. So B and B will match. B and B will match. Q and A will match. So Q and A will match. R here and O will match. So based on this, I'm going to match all these things. And then the next information they give you is also very important. OA is equal to 2 times QR. So OA is here. So this OA is equal to 2 times QR. So QR is here. This one times 2 equal to this one. You can see that this and this are the same side of the triangle. It's not by chance. They purposely give it to you like that. So with this, you mean that the ratio is 1:2, because this one times 2 will get this one. So the length ratio is 1:2. Okay, so the length is 1:2. But do I want the length? I don't want the length, I want area. So the question is, if the length is 1:2, what is the area? So I need to square both numbers. So 1 square is still 1, but 2 square is 4. So this is the areas ratio. Okay, so if I look at the diagram, this triangle is 1, this big triangle is 4. By the law of common sense, this part must be 3, because 3 plus 1 must be 4. And if you look at what the question is asking, they're asking for this over this, which is this over this. That's why the answer is 1:3. Difficult, right? Okay, so if you think that's difficult, this is even worse. Okay, so the next part they ask you BQR. So BQR is where BQR. So it's the same thing. And then the other triangle they want is OBP. So OBP, that's the whole thing. Okay, so it's this one part over the whole thing. So the question is, how big is the whole thing? You really know how big is the whole thing, right? So this is where again we do this common height triangle trick. So I know that this big triangle is so-called 4 parts. This is 1 part. The question is, this is how many parts? You can see that I already draw a 4 here. So how did I figure out it's 4? So what I do is, I took this triangle and this big triangle. I call this the common height triangle trick, because you can notice that this triangle and the whole triangle, the base is the same line. It's along the same line. And then for the 2 triangles, B is the same highest point. So if I drop down a perpendicular distance, this is the height, this is the base, and the height is the same. So you see that this triangle, the height is B here. The whole triangle, the height is also B here. It's the same height. That's why this is called a common height triangle trick. Okay, so I'm going to write down the ratio. So this triangle is half base times height. So it's half A times height. The big triangle is half 2A times height. Okay, so I'm writing it down here. See, half A, I just put 1 because it's the same thing, right? So half 1 times height, half 2 times height. You realize half cancel, h cancel. Actually the ratio is just 1:2. Basically the ratio of the base is the ratio of the area of triangle in this case. Okay, so this is 1:2. So which means if this is 4, the whole triangle must be 8. So by law of common sense, this one must be 4. So back to the question, they want this over the whole triangle. So that will be 1 over the whole triangle, which is 8. That's why the final answer is 1:8. Very difficult. Okay, so let's go for the last one. My goodness, this video is getting very long. It's just only 2 questions so far. Okay, so I have a 3a. This part is pretty easy, right? So I have 4 points. I want BC. So again, anytime you have the vectors, you can break it down. So this is C minus B. That's why BC is just C here minus B here. So you just count yourself, same thing. AD is, again, you can break it down, D minus A. So it's D here minus A here. So same thing, finish. And you cannot help but notice that this is 3, 3, this is 11, 11. It's too obvious. Because after that, they ask you, what's one fact about these two? So this 3, 3 and 11, 11, it must be parallel. Because if you take out 3, you have 1, 1. You take out 11, you get 1, 1. So they are definitely parallel. That's it. Okay, so this is the easy part. So this part B has nothing to do with part A. So I'm going to like shift the paper a bit. Okay, so let's start here. This is the part B. There's a lot of information. Parallelogram is a keyword. They tell you parallelogram is for a reason, because many things are there in a parallelogram. And then the diagonals intersect at T. So this is the so-called middle point where they cut. U is the midpoint, so this is the midpoint. So that's why these two are the same. And then V is the point such that PQ is 3PV. So PQ is where? So PQ is here. It's 3PV. So PV times 3 is the whole thing. So that's why this is 3, this is 1, and this is 2. So from here, I figure out the 1 and the 2 here. So TS is A, so here. PV, this part, done. Okay, so these are all the information given. And the fact that this is parallelogram, that means these two is the same. So if here is A, here is also A, because of the parallelogram. Okay, so let's start. So first thing I ask is PT. So it's this direction, so here. So I'm going to form some sort of triangle, right? So yeah, I start from P, I want to end at T. So it's quite obvious, it must be here. Here, here. So this, it will be, this is B, right? So the whole thing is 3B. So B, B, B. And then here is A. That's why it's 3B plus A. So it's 3B plus A, done. Okay. After that, I ask you, SU produce passes through V. So exactly what does this mean? Produce means if I draw longer. So SU, if I draw a bit longer, I'm going to touch V. In other words, S, U and V are on the same line. So they don't tell you it's the same line. They ask you in the direct way like this. So you must know what's going on. So anytime you have the same line, you're talking about SU is parallel to UV, or SU is parallel to SV. So in this case, I will choose to find this one. So I'm going to show SU and UV are parallel. Okay, so let's start with SU first. Okay, so SU, I want to start from S and U, right? So I'm going to start here, this direction, and then this direction. So it's ST plus TU is equal to SU. So start from here. So I write down what I just said. So ST, let's set the ST. So ST is quite easy. So if this direction is A, I want ST. So this must be negative A. So negative A. And then you realize that you know that I have PT already. So PT is this one. But now I want the other way. I want TU. So it's the opposite direction. So I need to negative this whole thing. And I'm only going half the distance, because the full distance is from T to P. I'm only going from T to U, halfway. So I need to times minus half. That's where this comes from. Okay, so it's minus half times this. Minus because I'm reversing the direction, half because I only travel halfway. So you simplify, you get this. Okay, our next target is UV. So UV is a bit more clumsy. It's very hard to write UV by itself. So I'm going to involve UV in some sort of equation. So it's PU plus UV is equal to PV. It's the same idea, right? I start at P, I end at V. So it's here equal to here. So I'm going to write that down here. So my first thing is PU is what? So PU is half of this. Okay. then plus UV I don't know equal to PV. So PV is B. So I'm going to put it all in. So here, PU is half of the PT plus UV I don't know equal to B. After that, I'm going to make this the subject. So this 2 is going to minus over the other side. I'm left with this. So in this case, I have UV, I have my SU. So I need to show that these two are parallel. So what I do is I take out half minus half like that. So it become B plus A. So this one, I'm going to take out minus 3 over 2. Take out minus 3 over 2. I'm also left with B plus A. You can see that it's both B plus A. This shows you that these two are parallel. So that's what you write here. So this are so-called the so-called explanation. Okay, so that's how you show that they are parallel. So I'm done with this one. So next, go for the next two parts, which is also quite difficult. So I need to find the ratio of the area PUS, which is this one, is to the ratio of PVS. That will be the bigger one. Okay, so this is what we call, again, we're using the common height triangle trick. So the thing is, how do we see the common height? Where? Is it like here, or is it here, or is it where? So there's a few criteria you must remember. The both triangles must have their base along the same line. So if you turn this around, it is this triangle and the whole thing, right? But you can see that both triangles have this pencil with their base, right? This is the bigger triangle base. This is the smaller triangle base. So that's criteria 1. And both triangle has this P as the highest point. So see, this triangle, P is the highest point. This triangle, P is the highest point. So they have the same highest point, which means they draw, this is the common height, the same height. So of course, I've already drawn a nicer version here. So I want to refer to this. The next question is, where did this 3 and 1 come from? Actually, it comes from here. UV and this SU, one of them is minus half, one of them is 3 times minus half. So actually, you know that this and this is 3 times the length difference. Yeah, so that's why I'm writing this here. So this one times 3 is equal to this. That's why this is 1, this is 3. And this is crucial, because if I want area, you know that the base ratio is the most important one. So I start with this triangle. PUS, which is this one, half base times height. So half base is 3 times the height, which is the dotted line. I don't care what the height is, because I'm going to cancel it later. And then I want PVS, the bigger one, so it's half base, which is 4, half base 4 times height. So you see that the half cancels, H cancels. The only thing left is the 3:4. So that is the ratio of the triangle's area. Okay. Next one, it gets even worse. I want SUR and PQRS. So where are they first? So SUR is here, this triangle, and I want the PTRS, which is the whole parallelogram. Okay. So again, how do we start? Again, this is a parallelogram. So this triangle is half of the whole thing, and that's the magic here. So if you just focus your attention on just the top part, this part, if I can figure out the ratio of this and the whole half of the parallelogram, I already got the answer. So again, this is again the common height triangle, because if you look at this big triangle, the base is here. This triangle, the base is here. So they are, again, the base is on the same line. And for the two triangles, the highest point here, down. For the big triangle, the highest point is also S. So still go down, same height. So let's write down the area of the triangle. So you can see that the whole base is how many units? There's a few ways to see this. I can see this as 1, 2, 3, 4. And here is also 4. So the whole thing is 8. For this triangle, the base is a bit shorter. It's only 1, 2, and 4. So the base is 6. So when I write down the area of triangle, the smaller one is half 6 times height. The bigger one is half 8 times height. Similarly, half cancel, H is cancel. I'm left with 6 over 8. I reduce, become 3 over 4, which means this triangle is 3, the whole thing is 4. So by the law of common sense, this is 3, this whole thing is 4, so this is 1, and these two big triangles are the same, so this whole thing is 4. So at the end of the day, I want this, right? So that will be 3 over the whole thing, which is 3 plus 1 plus 4 is 8. That's why the answer is 3 over 8. Okay, this is quite shack, right? Okay, so we've come to the end of all 3 questions. This is a very long video for only 3 questions. So I hope you have not been too worried. These are difficult questions. Nobody expects you to know how to do it the first time. Okay, so hope you learned something. Thank you and bye-bye.